How's it going, my fellow Witchers? Welcome to a brand new Witcher Season 2 video. So now we have our first proper trailer for The Witcher Season 2, thanks to WitcherCon, which we're getting a ton of stuff out of. I mean, if any of you are fans of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, we're getting some Witcher Netflix armor in that, which I can't wait to get into and replay it, especially with the 4K upscale. But this isn't about that. This is about our first proper trailer for Season 2. There's a bunch of tidbits in there, little Easter eggs, so I can't wait to dive into this. They honestly gave us quite a bit in this trailer in terms of information, and where my eyes are just lighting up in terms of the eye candy of the Witcher world that I see. So go ahead and like this video if you do go on to enjoy it, and of course, if you want to stay up to date with Witcher stuff, breakdowns, and everything like that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on a future video. So, The Witcher Season 2 is coming December 17th, and as many of you maybe already know, Season 2 is delving into more of the Blood of Elves book storyline. But before we get into all of those nitty-gritty details, let's read out The Witcher Season 2 synopsis. Now, this is a little bit old, but now seeing these clips play on screen, it may give you a little bit more context as to what we just saw. Convinced that Yennefer's life was lost at the Battle of Sodden, Geralt of Rivia brings Princess Cirilla to the safest place he knows, his childhood home of Kaer Morhen. While the continent's kings, elves, humans, and demons strive for supremacy outside its walls, he must protect the girl from something far more dangerous, the mysterious power she possesses inside. Just as teased in the synopsis, the trailer teases us with Ciri and kind of her coming to terms with, if you will, this power that is within her, which some of you more than others may already know is down to her elder blood. I mean, for example, when she goes on to explain her feelings sometimes and how, well, sometimes she feels like she can burn the whole world. And Geralt is just like, shit. Or should I say more accurately, fuck. But as a lot of you probably already know, or even if you just gather it from this trailer, or whether you're a fan of the games, or the books, both of them, or just one of them, we know that Geralt has got to temper those powers in Ciri and help her control it, and not let the Elder Blood power kind of control her, because yeah, it could definitely outburst at times, even in terms of what we've seen in Season 1. But what I also like with the scenery of the trailer, the environments, the kind of panning shots we get of Geralt and Ciri traveling to Kaer Morhen, is that you can draw symbolic aspects out of it that you could attribute to Ithlinne's prophecy. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically this elven prophecy that foretells the end of the world. If I remember correctly, it's in a few millennia, like so around 3,000 years usually from the point of what's happening in present day. But it does make me wonder if the Netflix adaptation will bring that frost and cataclysmic event forward to the point of where we maybe see a Ciri in Season 6 or 7, who knows how long it'll go on for, kind of tackling and maybe being the offspring of the Elder Blood that tries to save everyone. But that's something that is way in the future, but as I said, with everything being in winter mode in the trailer, it kind of reminds me of that. This is why it's so crucial for Geralt to take Ciri in, train her, help her, and more or less become a family, because if that doesn't happen, yeah, we'll get a lot more of this glitching Ciri on the floor, kind of having outbursts of, as I said, apocalyptic level power. But that's not the only thing in terms of what we got teased with in the trailer that is kind of world-changing. So with the world-changing comments from the trailer, not only pertaining to Ciri and the Elder Blood, but also the lands in The Witcher as well, because we can't forget that in Season 1, things in The Witcher can be fairly political. And last season we had a lot of Nilfgaard drama, and there will be a lot more of that and political problems arising from Nilfgaard this season. For example, I think we even see the new Nilfgaard armor in this trailer, which is a big step up from the kind of ballsack armor that everyone was pointing to last season. I definitely see it. I didn't think it was that bad, but like, yeah, I get what people were saying. But now we're going full Nilfgaard look, and I believe we actually even see some of the city of Nilfgaard as well. By the way, I love that line when Ciri's just like, so I'm your destiny, and Geralt responds something like, you're much more than that, Cirilla. It's like a straight line from the books. I believe it's kind of abbreviated and changed around a bit, but hearing him just say like you're much more than just the destiny just kind of pertains to how important she is, like this unspoken bond which really grows in a much more family surrogate father, surrogate mother from Yennefer direction that I can't wait to touch upon this season. And I like how Ciri is trying to kind of figure out Geralt initially as well. It's not like they gel together immediately, but as I was just kind of teasing, that's honestly one of my most anticipated things to see this season, seeing both characters go from strangers to practically specifically linked in destiny through a father and daughter relationship that they have in the source material, of which, as I teased a second ago as well, Yennefer is kind of the surrogate mother role, whereas Geralt takes on the father figure. Except we don't really see much of Yennefer in these beginning scenes at all. It seems that she is really kind of saved for the end of the trailer, which we'll tackle a little bit later. Bottom line, Geralt is obviously going to help her. We see that in this trailer. She's going to enter a whole new world of crazy adventure being at the School of the Wolf. Even when we see her drink out of that wine glass here, she seems to be getting out of her kind of princess mode, so to speak, which we saw of quite a bit in season 1, of course, but Ciri is going to stray further and further away from her princesshood days and more into the Witcher-esque days ahead. Not that she'll become an actual Witcher, but you know, more or less, basically. And may I say, look, I've said this before in my previous update video, which was quite a while ago, to be honest, but Ciri just looks so much better with those eyebrows, because last season they kind of like dyed everything into a kind of platinum blondie kind of hair, but now with her having like the dark eyebrows, she just looks kind of so much more older and more kind of gruff and rough and ready to kind of be out and about in the School of the Wolf. And I just love it. She just looks so much more badass. Like, that was Cirilla last season. This is Ciri. But yeah, as I was kind of saying, as we can see in the trailer, Ciri and Geralt are returning to the School of the Wolf, which is the Witcher school that Geralt belongs to. And there's many others out there, by the way. For example, the School of the Cat, Viper, Bear, you name it. And they all each have emblems on their Witcher medallions from different schools, but obviously with Geralt, he has the little wolf one, and we see other medallions in the trailer as well. But I'll get to that in a little bit. But honestly, the first look at Kaer Morhen, it just is completely insane to me. If you're a big book fan, or whether it's the games, it may seem very familiar, because it's like they've just kind of taken it like out of that. Now you could just say that's not because of the games, obviously it's very well described in the books, but it looks just spitting image of it. And seeing Geralt train as well on like the little kind of wooden poles and stuff and everything, it's just fantastic. And we're gonna get amazing Ciri and Geralt freaking training Witcher montages, I'm sure. And speaking of the School of the Wolf, well, it's not just Geralt who is a Witcher there, but we also see the other Witchers there, such as Lambert, Cohen, Eskel. We even get our first little glimpse, if you will, at Vesemir. Oh man, I'm so excited for Vesemir. And even though it's blurry in some images, it just feels perfect. I believe there was this one shot that I'm probably showing on screen right now where Geralt was training, and you see Vesemir in the background there, and it just reminds me of like straight out of the Witcher video games. And I think we even see Geralt with Vesemir in various scenes in the trailer later on, but we don't get a full look at him. For example, there's this one where they're back to back. There's a very ending scene of the trailer where I believe we even hear Vesemir's voiceover talking about maybe Ciri, this princess, is more than what Geralt bargained for, because she's going to be quite a handful. But that doesn't really matter, because she's going to become family. But obviously Vesemir's approach at first is maybe a bit cold to the touch with Ciri, but obviously later on he's very much so going to become Uncle Vesemir to her, much more of a, you know, this is what I mean. Geralt, Yennefer, Vesemir is quite a tight-knit family. I just feel like seeing all of this, it's just all coming together. And yeah, I wish we got a little bit more of a glimpse at Vesemir, but I like these little teasers that they're doing. Now in Kaer Morhen as well, what I found really cool is that the little swords that we see, I feel are spitting right out of the video game as well. I believe we not only see steel swords, but we see the silver swords. The hilts are very similar, I guess, that I'm showing comparison images on screen right now. We also see these fallen Witcher medallions that are humming. Now I'm guessing this is like a memorial to the fallen Witchers from the School of the Wolf, but notice how they are humming. So maybe there's a little monster attack on Kaer Morhen, possibly, that's happening, because why else would they be vibrating like that? Because they vibrate when monsters are nearby. Think of Frodo's sword from Lord of the Rings, Sting, glowing blue when orcs are nearby. It's that kind of vibe. And there seems to be some focus on this blade as well. I'm wondering if this particular daggery kind of blade is going to be Ciri's little first newbie blade. But we do know that there will be training for Ciri at the School of Kaer Morhen. She will more or less be going through everything that makes a Witcher, albeit that she won't be going through the trial of the grasses, which young witches are subjected to. If you didn't know, this is kind of like the actual thing that makes witches a Witcher. They take these potions, and it's called like the trial of the grasses, in where it affects the nervous systems that kind of grants them their Witcher edge, like, you know, mad reflexes and stuff like that. However, usually only around 4 in 10 survive the trial, like when the children go through it, which is pretty brutal. Like it's a very questionable questionable ethical thing, putting children through that. But yeah, Ciri doesn't need to do that, and she doesn't do that, but albeit that she's trained like a Witcher, she is overpowered enough through the power of the Elder Blood that, yeah, she doesn't need no Trial of the Grasses, trust me on that. Now, speaking of Ciri training, I believe not only did we get this trailer, we have some stills coming out of WitcherCon, so I believe here we see Lambert actually training with Ciri. And, Jaskier, toss a coin to your Witcher, Dandelion. Well, Jaskier's getting more into Dandelion mode here because we see our first look at Jaskier ranking up in the world of bards, if you will, Dandelion style. He's got a little kind of bard hat on. Cannot wait for the next toss your coin to your Witcher song because, yeah, I think everyone couldn't get that out of their head in Season 1, so you know they're going to double down in Season 2. In this scene here, I find this interesting. I would love your feedback on this, all the die-hard Witcher fans out there. In this scene, this could be Triss, perhaps kind of trying it on with Geralt, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. But so, you know, in between the whole Yennefer thing, Triss, I think this is Triss, just let me put it that way. But also, I'm wondering if this is Triss revealing herself to Ciri. Now, it could be Yennefer, but at the same time, when that hook goes down, I think it could be Triss, and that's how she meets Ciri. I don't know, this is speculation. These scenes are quite ambiguous in the trailer. With all the Kaer Morhen stuff in the trailer, all these other witches, all these scenes that are floating by, the witches of the story are described as being like a military family at WitcherCon, with the showrunner talking about how the upcoming scenes between the witches at Kaer Morhen are representing their brotherly bonds. They're roughhouse, they're constantly teasing each other. We want it to be light and fun, they said, so honestly, I can't wait for that dynamic to unfold between all the witches of the School of the Wolf. I can just see it already. Now, guys, we also get a tease of a new monster in the trailer, and this is one that I can't wait for them to tackle. Initially, when I first saw this flying, I thought maybe it could be like a forktail or a harpy, but it could, and it does look like it will be one of the other stories that they'll tell that Geralt kind of goes off on, like they did in Season 1 when you had those kind of little actual Witcher kind of side quest stories going on where he slays a monster. And this likely seems to be what Netflix's Witcher is already teased that they will debut in Season 2, and that is the Bruxa, and that is Verina's arrival in the story, and we see Geralt fighting her, I believe, at Nivelun's mansion. Bruxa are basically vampires, like, that's all you really need to know about them in the Witcher's world. Bruxa equals vampires. Now, Nivelun will be played by Christopher Hivju. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but you may remember him from Game of Thrones. Now, we only get a glimpse of his cursed look, but yeah, without giving away too much of the story, I'm really looking forward to this short story being involved. Seeing vampires, or aka Bruxa, in the Witcher world will be awesome. What I will tease about that story is it's more or less kind of Bruxa and the Beast, as in Beauty and the Beast. So think kind of vampire and Beast, cursed man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this story. It looks like it's going to be an epic Geralt of Rivia, Henry Cavill, awesome stunt kind of scene. Many scenes. Other than that, at the end of the trailer, we obviously kind of pick up right after the end of the Battle of Sodden, and it's just kind of teasing that Yennefer is okay. I think we all kind of figured this, but Yennefer is alive and well, and I need to see some Ciri and Yennefer scenes. But anyway, guys, that is the trailer. Let me know if I missed anything out, but I'm pretty sure I was more or less on the ball of most, if not everything, in that trailer. I cannot wait for The Witcher Season 2. I'm honestly a big fan of this adaptation, personally. Say what you will about it, but hey, if you're a fan of it, this is the place to be on this channel, especially as more updates are now coming out. The marketing is really starting to roll. You can be sure that I'll be on anything significant that comes out, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and if you liked it, hey, click the like button, toss a like to your Boba Valley of subscribers, I don't know, and hey, check out the links in the top pinned comment, because that top pinned comment is mine. Click show more, expand it, and you'll see links to my Twitter, Facebook, other places to follow me and support me. Maybe toss a coin to your Boba at my Patreon or the join button on the channel. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you fellow witches of the School of the Wolf in the next video. Goodbye.